Hey, this is how I fold a snowflake. The whole point of this, some of the goals are we want to improve cutting differences. We don't want big holes and little holes. We want to be able to use any size paper. We want it to be self-centering, so we don't have to worry about where the snowflake shows up. It's just in the center of the paper. And we want it to be precise. So let's get to it. First thing is we work with any size paper. I actually find that a full sheet of paper is way too much paper. So I work with smaller bits, and to make that easy to happen, I just tear my papers in half. This part, it is not super important that everything be 100% precise, but it is kind of important that you keep things parallel. So if you give things a decent crease and then you sit here in a mountain fold, you can just rip them right apart just like that. And then you might want to even go smaller. I find that quarter size paper snowflakes are pretty much the perfect size. If you've got a bigger technique, half sheet will do. But quarter or full is the way I go. So any of these sizes, the nice thing about this folding technique is that, well, it's self-centering. And it doesn't matter the dimensions so much as long as these edges here are parallel. So I'm going to work with this piece that's a little bigger just to demonstrate exactly what's going on. So you're going to fold this in half. It is not super important what way you go. You could go hot dog or hamburger. I like going hamburger because it makes things easier. The reason it doesn't matter is because you're about to quarter the paper now. So we've got 2 folds in this so far. We've just folded in half both ways. And right here in the center is where our snowflake's going to be. This next fold is tricky because we have to divide. We're going to end up dividing this into 12 sections. So each one of these quarters needs to get a third in it. And this is the trickiest fold in the whole group. This corner right here is where everything's coming together and is the center of the snowflake. And we're going to work out from there. When I go to make a third, we are trying to make, if this line is the middle, we're trying to make what's above the line equal to what's below the line. So I just take a guess, and I'm really trying to be really precise here. Actually don't know the angle here, but the fact that it ends in the corner is really important. Up here it's not so important. We can just kind of lightly crease it. And I may be right here, I may be wrong. And the way I tell is by folding this up here, and I match it perfectly with the cut line. Match it perfect. And I don't super crease it because I could be wrong. And in fact, you can tell right here, I'm very wrong. I've got this whole section right here that's off. And that section that's off, I actually have to go by half that distance. Half of it needs to go onto this leaf, and half of it needs to go onto this leaf. So because I know I need to go half that distance, I'll just come in here, leaving the bottom point here alone, because it's basically right already. And I'll come in here with my finger and try and get the top, what I believe to be about half different, and then run down. And once again, I'll check by folding up and making certain that I'm matching this crease all the way along the bottom. And I do that, and I come and bring it back up, and you can see I have missed my target again, but I just need to half that again. So we go and we half, and I just keep going. I've found that it really doesn't matter as long as I don't super crease it. It doesn't matter if I've got 6 or 7 folds along the way. It really hasn't changed the quality of the snowflake that shows up. What is important though is that we're, the words right there, precise, that we're nice and precise on our folds, because they are going to make the difference. So if we come in here and take a look, I still feel like I am just off. I'm just a hair off on both ways, so I'm gonna come in and one more time give myself a tiny little hair and then come all the way down. And go again with the edge here, boop, and look up top, and I'm still off. Sorry, I thought this was going to go quicker. I could show you just how nice it goes, but instead we're going to show you several mistakes. But what's important that you realize along the way is that The changing happens up here, and this point down here doesn't change too much. In the end, we get a fold that is nice and even on both sides. And I can kind of show that to you here. I feel like that is nice and even as I run my thumb right across here and I run over here. I don't feel like anything's protruding, and we're good. So we do the same thing on the other side. We just can match. It makes this measurement a lot easier, because once we have the third, we have the third. And fold up. And what I've done here now in doing that is I have made like an accordion fold all the way around. Notice that it folds out like a fan. It's a radial fan, but I'm not expounding the errors as we go. Because it's accordion folded like this, instead of fold in half and then fold in half again and then fold in half again, that really compounds errors as you cut. So the accordion fold gets rid of most of that. And this final product that you're looking at here, we're going to cut right along here. So you just can grab your scissors to do that. I prefer working on a cutting board and using just a box cutter. Pretty simple. Just be careful, don't cut yourself. And you can run a nice line down. You might have to do two. And you have your snowflake base. Now, the nice thing about this is because it's accordion fan, you can open and close really easy and get back and forth. And you can see now that our paper has been pretty self-centered. I've got what we're working with, and then I've got the scraps here. And if I open those up, we get one side that goes there, and one side that comes over here. And so we got it right in the center. So to fold this back up, we just have to find that one line that matches where we've got, so you'll notice right this crease right here is a mountain and its opposing side's a valley, so that's obviously not what we need. Here we've got two mountains, and so that's right where we start, and then we can just accordion fold everything in. And once you're there, you can just come in and make a few cuts. Nothing super exciting, just to get the idea across that there is a snowflake. And once you've cut a few things like this, you want to come in with your knife and give some detail in some places. And you can do that with tiny cuts wherever you feel like they fit. But the more you add these kind of tiny cuts and these little bits of detail, the more a snowflake comes to life. This is going to be a pretty boring one, but you can see still how points come out and you get your final product. Anyways, thanks. Have fun. Bye.